All right, welcome everybody. Bitcoin Brandon, Los Angeles, California. This will be my crypto talk today. In fact, I'm doing two. I'm going to be doing one privately in the economics group right after this one. But we're going to talk about the gig economy. This is something that you're going to start hearing about much more frequently all over the place. It actually is a new term for me because I always think of the term digital economy. And I got started in the digital economy. Actually, my very first company in the network marketing direct sales was a company called ACN. And that was back in 1998, the end of 1998 going into 1999. That was my very first company, and it dealt with the telecommunications industry with long distance and the deregulation of gas and electricity. But the gig economy is actually what we call decentralizing the workplace. Now, this isn't brand new. This is a concept that was here before industrialization, where everybody was self-employed. You know, you lived off the land, you lived off of what you produced at home that you would take into the market and you would barter, you would sell it with your neighbors. And that's how, the economy worked back then. And then when the Industrial Revolution took place and people moved from the countryside into the cities and developed the 9 to 5 mentality, the workforce. And before regulation back then, you might have worked 6 days a week, 14, 15 hours a day. You had Sunday off to go to church and you did it all over again on Monday. And then as the century progressed, you had laws that were made in place for workers' compensation and safety in the workplace and standards that employers had to live by for the employees, and everybody was, back in the factory line. Well, this new economy is shifting to now you cannot survive anymore in that lifestyle. You know, that old saying, go to school, get good grades, get a good, safe, secure job, a job that will take care of you for the rest of your life. That only lasted for half a generation. And that half generation was the baby boomers. And a lot of those baby boomers, it still didn't work for them because they're at retirement age right now and they're realizing that, they lost their savings. They have no more 401k. They have Social Security is a joke. The house that they live in is on 1 or 2 mortgages. They don't actually own the house that they live in. So they can either downgrade their lifestyle until they die or go back to school, get a new skill set, and get back into the job force, or just extend their job, not retire on time. And so what a lot of that generation and then my generation, Generation X, had to do on top of having a job, we had to get ourselves a side gig. We had to find other ways of making money. And in this new economy, we see a lot of these side gigs now. I remember in the 90s, if I asked somebody if you're open to an opportunity, that was a brand new question for a lot of people because they were on a 9 to 5 job. But then, a decade later, 2 decades later, it's not about if you're open for a new opportunity. The question is, how many businesses or how many side opportunities or how many side gigs are you a part of right now that's giving you extra part-time money? And that's how it's been for the last 10 years. Everybody's got something going on. Now we're starting to see the industry is starting to develop side gigs outside of the direct selling space, the network marketing space. Like Uber, Amazon, eBay, drop shipping, Lyft, Airbnb. Now you are able to, at any given time, you say, I need to make some extra money, go put that Uber stick on your car and go pick up some riders for the weekend. You make a couple $100, making your own time. And the new gig economy is getting to a point now where individuals are making their side gigs their full-time gig, where you're able to no longer be in the traditional 9 to 5 type of business, but you might be an independent contractor. You might be getting a contract, a smart contract, or negotiating with another company that you're doing business for them, and it might be able to provide you a full-time income. In fact, I am blessed to have been able to retire and walk off my job at the age of 35 years old So my side gigs have been my full-time gigs. But you add that on to technology. You know, without the internet, there would be no gig economy as we know it today. The internet allows us to be able to really out of thin air create our own gigs, create our own businesses. Started from the dot-com era, where if you had skill set in building a website, you could have an idea, build a website, and sell it off to a company for $100 million with no freaking product attached to it. You know, that didn't last very long, but you were able to in those early days. But now we're in 2019. Blockchain is here. Cryptocurrency is here. This is a new 21st century economy. Money is now going digital. Ways of earning is going digital. And for something like this to be successful, especially from what we are doing, because we are launching a company that is teaching you about the gig economy, teaching you about how to get positioned in the digital economy, how to be able to make an extra money on the side that could possibly turn into full time or allow your money to work for you. The problem that most people have is two. One, they don't know that it exists. And two, even if they do know it exists, they're afraid of it. Not afraid of it per se that they think it's a threat to them. They're afraid of it because it's something new that they have to learn, and they're afraid to learn something new, and they also don't know where to go. They don't know who to ask. And so I was talking to one of our programmers who was sharing his story with me. And the story he was sharing was that, you know, I've made all my money. I've made 7 figures in this industry. I've started several companies and businesses. And the only thing that I knew about money was putting in my savings account or buying a hard asset, real estate, stuff like that. But didn't really understand the stock market or precious metals or right now, digital economy with cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. And it was a scary thing. And if you think about it, those of you, especially if you heard about Bitcoin, we all had a first day where we didn't know what this Bitcoin thing was. I first heard about Bitcoin in 2013. And only because Bitcoin for the first time rose over $100 a coin. And it made the news. And I was like, what is this Bitcoin thing? You know, I thought it was just but a bunch of nerds living in their mom's basement. You know, playing Dungeons and Dragons all day and using it for Monopoly type money. I didn't know that there was anything real to this. So I had to start somewhere. The thing was, there was nobody teaching this. I had friends of mine that were investing $50,000, $100,000, and they were making a whole lot of money. And I said, "How? You know, what are you doing? Now, how does this thing work?" And to my surprise, they didn't even understand it. So I said, "How are you investing in something, and not just a lot of money? How are you investing in something you don't understand?" And their only answer to me is that, well, Bitcoin keeps going up. It keeps going up. And I said, you know, I'm smart. I know nothing ever just keeps going up. The stock market doesn't just keep going up. Even gold fluctuates. So I said, I need to learn about this. And I spent 6 months self-teaching, self-taught. I went to YouTube and Google, which is the worst thing to do. Because one, I didn't know what questions to ask. And I didn't know if I was getting the right information. I was hearing many different things. And so I learned by trial and error, and only because I was committed. I put my head down and I forged through it because I wanted to change my career from the direct selling space into an industry that allowed me to take my own money and let money work for me. And then brand myself and be a consultant. That's my side gig. That's what I wanted to do. And so I learned this thing. And once I figured it out and I got started, you know, I did very well. And what was it, almost 2 years ago, September 2017 is when I officially, you know, put my foot in there and went for it. A little bit of luck at the same time. I rode the wave of Bitcoin. And then in 2018, we decided, after we saw a lot of people lose a lot of money because the Bitcoin also came down, and the news and media was telling people the wrong thing. They were saying, when it was high, buy. When it was low, sell. That's the worst thing you can do. You do the opposite. You buy low, you sell high, but that's what they were telling people to do, and people panicked. People got involved in businesses that came into this space and were promising, we're going to double your money. We're going to give you a 1% or 2% a day. Give us your Bitcoin, and we're going to hold on to it for 6 months, and we're going to make money for you. And then they end up running off with everybody's money, and things like that happen. And the reason why a lot of people got so-called scammed on that is because they lacked knowledge, they lacked education about this space. So we said we're going to create a company that is going to teach people without them having to feel like they got to go to school. They can learn at their own pace. We'll create an audio video library that's going to teach people about this new economy and how to get involved and do it safely, so that now you can make informed, intelligent decisions on which direction you want to go into building your financial portfolio. And that was January 2018. We've been working on this thing for almost 18 months now. Fast forward to now, we're now in Ripple 1 of our brand new company. Ripple 1, what does that mean? What does Ripple 1 mean? Well, Ripple 1 just means we're in the staging phases. We are allowing those who have been following us and a part of our project for the last 18 months to get into the system, check out our video on demand library, which is one of the first things in place. Make sure that things are functioning and running smoothly before we get to Ripple 2 and we go beyond. But the point is that we're bringing something new to the industry that hasn't been here before. There is no competition. There's nobody doing what we're doing. And in fact, we are not a threat to any other company out there. One thing is people say, do I have to stop what I'm doing or leave my company to come with you guys and learn? Absolutely not. We're an education platform. I've made 7 figures in the direct selling space. I've made companies well over in my career 50, 75 million or so. And the one thing that we were never taught, what to do with the money when we made it. How many times have you seen 7-figure earners that they want to show off the lifestyle, and they want to show off the house, and they want to show off the car and their vacations, and that's their enticement, saying, if you join me, you can have the same lifestyle as I have. That's the industry standard, right? But what you don't know is that those same 7-figure earners, when they're high, they also have lows. Nothing ever goes exactly according to plan, especially the last 15 years. The industry itself has changed. It's not like 70s and 80s and the 90s, where you join one company, you're there for 20 years, and you built yourself up a residual income that you go off to the beach and your residual income keeps coming in. The industry has shifted to a point where the last 10 years, it doesn't matter how great you are as a networker, how big your influence is. The market is so flooded with so many opportunities and companies that it's easier for somebody to decide to jump ship and join something else instead of learning the skills necessary to build the company that they're at, which means your team is rotating every 6 months. There's no residual income. If you stop, your check stops. That sounds more like a job to me. That's why I retired from that industry. I'm not doing this to work a job. I want to be able to put in all the work, and then I can step away and let it work for itself. But that industry was leveraging people. See, the gig economy right now, and the next is going to be how to leverage not just your time, but how to leverage money, how to leverage resources. Work smarter, not harder. And the old industry, you used to be able to do that, but it's no longer that way now. So if you're part of any other company and you might be making money or you're not making money, you can still be a part of what we're doing. Because you can now take the money that you're earning, learn the skills about, and what skills are we going to be teaching here? See, even though we started and began with teaching about cryptocurrency, that's not all. We're going to be teaching about everything in the gig economy. We're going to be teaching about, life skills. We're going to be teaching about real estate. We're going to teach about taxes and how to set up your LLC. We're going to be teaching about personal development, how to build a business, how to set up corporations, and etc. and many, many more things. Anything that deals with, the gig economy, digital economy, allowing your money to work for you, things that you're not taught in school. Financial literacy is what we're teaching. So we're not a threat to any company. It doesn't matter. You're with, I don't know, Janess, TLC, ACM, Melaleuca, iBoomeranging, anything out there. Great. Keep doing what you're doing. But you owe it to yourself, for you and the people that's following you, to give them a tool that's going to teach them an extra skill set so that they'll be able to maintain the income that they're starting to make. That's the gig economy. So I hope this made sense. In Ripple One, we are sending an invitation. If you want to go along for this ride with us, because one thing about our company is that we're compliant and licensed in the United States. We're building this to be the long run. We've brought on board individuals behind the scenes that have been working very hard to make sure that when you go to sleep at night and you wake up tomorrow, the company is still here. We are going to be the brand new model for the future in this direct selling industry. That is what we've been doing. And we are inviting you along for the ride. So if you're not already a part of it, here's something else that's even better. How about you can join for free? That's right. You can join for free. What's going on, Ron? I saw you earlier, Kevin. You can join for free. Check it out. We've got a video on demand library. That's just the stage one of getting involved before all of our other courses are released. You're going to be able to take tests and be certified in all of our courses. This is the real deal. This isn't just one of those things that they just swapped the education thing on just because they want to play a money game. This is customer acquisition with what we're doing. I'm very, very excited. I've been waiting a long time for this, and it's finally here. If you've been with us for the last months and you fell off, you forgot to confirm, you can still get signed up in position right now. So whoever your influence was, so they can get yourself signed up so you can start creating your branches before we bring this to the public. Notice something, I still haven't even said the name of the company. I'm not going to that often. I don't need to just yet. So you can just get back with me, get back with the person who's sharing you with this, and we can get you positioned. If you want to be that individual, to be able to take your side gig to the next level, and to be able to be in a position to create a full-time income for yourself, and then learn the skill set necessary on what to do with the excess money after that, then you definitely want to be a part of what we're doing here. Those of you that's joining late, I encourage you, because I'm about to end right now, go back to the beginning and watch this video. But as soon as I end, I'm going to be doing another Facebook Live in our private group. And as soon as and I'm going to be talking just to our influencers and giving them some information. So if you're not part of that private group, well, you got to be a part of our team. And we'll get to that. But I just wanted to share with you guys, and I'm going to start spreading the word and getting the word out there about this gig economy, how you can get involved in it, what is it, and you don't have to be afraid anymore. And it's okay to admit it. You might not want to admit it publicly, but privately, it's okay. We've got something here that you can, in the safety of your own home, in your own little bubble, nobody needs to see what you're doing, and you can learn a new skill. I did. I learned a brand new skill set over the last 2 years that is going to change my family tree. It's okay to do that. Times are changing. Get yourself positioned, but you got to start. All right, so I hope everybody, that made sense to everybody. If you have signed up with me and you are not part of the group, then I'll wait. Shoot me a message. I'll wait about 5 minutes before I turn it on so I can add you to the group so that you can see that private message that I'm going to be sending to our own personal community. So with that, everybody have a great day this afternoon. I hope you learned something from this. As always, that is the point. I'll end with saying two things. Number one, I am not a licensed, this is a disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I read the news, I share my opinion, I give suggestions, and it is up to you to make an informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to go into. Your income is determined by your output. Your income is determined by your production. So nothing is guaranteed other than what you decide to do. And the second thing is there's 4 laws of success in this crypto space, and I got to extend it to the gig economy. Number 1, education is key. Education is everything. Number 2, never invest money you cannot afford to lose. Number 3, always get a return on investment back as fast as possible. Know that you're taking a risk, and at some point you can lose everything. It's possible. I've lost more than 50,000 in this space. I've made more than that because of my education. And number 4, you got to set goals. Where do you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now, 3 years from now? What are you willing to do to make that happen? Make a decision. Find a vehicle, a foundation that's going to get you there. And then in the next thing, I'm going to talk about foundation and the goals. But make a decision in foundation like I did with our company. Take action, because you just can't, decide you want to do something and then sit there and think it's going to happen by osmosis. Take action. Stay focused. Do not get distracted. Now, this is not going to guarantee you success, but it will at least minimize your risk. And that's all we can ask for. So with that, have a great evening. I'll see those of